the entire module is made in the casting yard, and then one module is put over the other like Lego blocks. You all remember how in our childhood we used to play with blocks to create a building. Same technology is available for housing. So you can just create those modular units and put one over the other to create a block. Next, I invite Professor Meher Prasad from IIT Madras. A big round of applause for him. He has been my mentor, and very passionately he is promoting innovative construction systems. Then we have Professor Brajesh Bhata from SEPT. Welcome, sir. Then we have a scientist from CBRI, Dr. Ajay Chaurasia. He's also working in the area of innovative construction system. Recently, he has developed a lab where you can, carry out full-scale testing of, for earthquakes. Ajay Chaurasia, come. Jignashu. Then we have Hitesh Meena from Tavasta. They are the startups. यार कुछ chairs लगवा दो. Chairs. एक दो चेयर लगा. Ajay Shah and then Jignashu. Okay, so I think, sir, panel is complete. Before I ask you to make opening remarks, I just wanted to show a video to all of them that where construction has gone. You all remember how we used to construct buildings, brick, mortar, collect the material and at site. Now I'll show you a video of L&T where construction has gone, all digital, Internet of Things, everything has come into the construction sector. Earlier we used to say it is a dust thing and labor oriented and all those things. Now everything can be done somewhere else, and all you have to do is just bring that to the site and use that. It's like, plug and play device. All of you know about plug and play device. It's like USB drive. So USB drive you put in your TV and start seeing the film. Similarly, nowadays you have plug and play homes. And the good news is that we have companies like L&T and others who are doing, who are into this kind of thing. So may I ask to play a video? This is one of the upcoming technology, which is 3D printing, which I wanted to show you that where the construction sector has gone. Just feed the drawing to the computer
the
and then
future of
building
Indian
is
housing.
made.
As proof of concept, we first 3D concrete printed a single-story building. Then, we 3D concrete printed India's first ground+1 building. Now, we have 3D concrete printed a full-fledged flat. L&T has revolutionized 3D printing technology by engineering a concrete mix with locally available construction material and developed ingenious methods to integrate reinforcement. The specialized concrete is a paradoxical combination of properties that ensures pumpability, flowability, green status, and buildability. Both horizontal and vertical rebar are embedded in the printing. 3D concrete printing has several advantages over conventional construction. We are now ready to build up to 4-story buildings, mass housing, villas, factories, and more. Anytime, anywhere, fast, made-to-order structures are now a reality. Thanks to our expertise in 3D concrete printing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, L&T. Now you see, just I wanted to make an idea. We all know about printing, we all know about software. Now we can print the building. So what would be the ink? What should be the ink here? Concrete is the ink here. And I was told by Amit that you have to just feed your drawing AutoCAD drawing into the computer, and everything will be done by this robot and that ink, which is a concrete of a special kind. So with these words, I will first ask our Honorable Principal Secretary, sir, to just make opening remark, and after that what I will do, I will just call the name one by one, and you can all make 5 minutes intervention. And the topic is, the use of innovative technologies by public and private agency. What is the perception? We are talking about functionality, we are talking about cost, so all those things you can, throw light upon. And also we have, he's the person, please stand, he's a person from Tavasta. They are a young company, startup, who are into 3D printing. It's a group of young people, so he will be talking about, you should talk about 3D printing and what are the, and then we have from L&T, I think he's the #1 company in innovations and they are experimenting in the field. So sir, first may I request Hitesh sir to make, sir, वहीं से कर दीजिए आप. Yes sir.
So good afternoon to everyone. Normally, post-lunch session are always very difficult to attend, but subject is so interesting. So I think everyone will wholeheartedly, they will participate, keeping aside their afternoon nap, because people might be knowing that Rajkot is famous for afternoon nap. If you go outside, this is, I think, Diwali season, so that's why some shops and those things are open. Otherwise, in Rajkot, 2 to 4, most of the shops are closed. Even if you will go by 1:45, 2 o'clock, they will tell, no, miss, we have no time. So this is what Rajkot is famous for. So I hope that will not prevail over here during course of our discussion. As you know that this theme of this session is what we call it use of innovative technologies by public and private agencies. Basically, I am also civil engineer, and I have done my graduation from LD Engineering College of Ahmedabad. And after that, from technocrat, I became bureaucrat. When I was studying in engineering college, in our syllabus, in third or final year syllabus, innovative technologies syllabus or that chapter will be in the last couple of chapters will be on this innovative technology. It means that in our academic institutions also, we are not giving that much importance to whatever innovations are happening in the field. When academic institutions are not giving that much importance to innovative technologies, we can understand that the students who are coming out from engineering college or architecture college, how they will imbibe those type of innovative technologies, innovative systems. So my foremost recommendation for today's this thing, at least in our academic syllabus, we should give more importance to innovative technologies or innovative systems. Leave apart this thing, over a period of time, every state has done some work in this innovative technology. I am coming from Tamil Nadu. We have Tamil Nadu Urban Habitat Development Board. Though we are telling there are 55 innovative technologies which has been identified, and for that we have made specifications and we have made schedule of rates. But in market, if we are seeing that hardly one or two couple of technologies are only under circulation, and it's not in big way, but yes, in small way, some innovative technologies are in circulation. In Tamil Nadu, state like Tamil Nadu, we have got yesterday best state in implementation of innovative technologies, but we are having two technologies only. One is My1 technology and second one is precast construction technology. What are the impediments? why these new technologies are not easily acceptable by public agency as well as private agency. Today we have to discuss those things. We are talking only about the housing point of view, but there are so many other areas also where we can use the similar technologies. We have expert panelists here with their wide experience in this field. Definitely they will give certain important suggestions which can be utilized by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs to make some policy, to take some decisions so that these innovative technologies can be carried forward for our future generation. There are various issues, if you will ask me, because though I am civil engineer, I am a bureaucrat, but out of my 29 years of service, more than 60% of service, I was in infrastructure department. Saying so, I was corporation commissioner, I was also in joint secretary border management in Ministry of Home Affairs. I was also in National Mission for Clean Ganga. Today I am Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary. In most of the places there is a use of civil engineering various technologies because it's all this are related to infrastructure. But when it comes to implementation of various innovative technologies, immediately 4 or 5 issues which will be raised by this public agency. Private agency may have little different issues. I am just telling on the side of public agencies. First issue is that, sir, state government, PWD has not yet notified the schedule of rates for this kind of technologies. Some state will take some bold step, okay, let us go ahead and we will do some turnkey project and something like that. Moment you go for turnkey project, after 3 years, big letter will come from CAG asking that, under which schedule of rate you prepared this estimate and it has been compared with this particular rate which has been quoted by the contractor. That is the second impediment. Third impediment will be, there will not be any specifications, or if there are specifications are there, there may not be relevant tender schedules or tender document for this kind of things. So these are some initial my thinking about what difficulties public agencies they are facing in implementation of new technologies. So while we are talking about these things, simultaneously what should be the implementation mechanism for that technology, that can also be, if during our course of this discussion, if we will discuss, it will be more fruitful and it will be more useful to everyone. So with this, my opening remarks, I invite all our experts in this panel and looking forward for good, excellent suggestions so that we can give implementable suggestions to Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, because CPWD is directly under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So straightway they can take a decision for the at national level infrastructure. Similarly, many state representatives are also here. They can also take some decision on this. Definitely in Tamil Nadu, our Managing Director of Urban Habitat Development Board is very much here. Our PWD has not made any amendment in the schedule of rates. They have not brought in schedule of rates. We have taken decision that means nothing doing. We will follow whatever schedule of rates CPWD has notified. That schedule of rate we will we will accept. Our PWD has made lot of hue and cry about it, but we went ahead and we forced them to make that similar type of schedule of rates for Tamil Nadu PWD schedule of rates also they have done. So like that, some state has to take, or some officer has to take some proactive decision, then you will force other agencies also to do the same. With this, I will not be too much between you and this our experts. I request DG CPWD Mr. Sharma to make his and give his valuable inputs for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your opening remarks. Now, I will call first Engineer Shailen Sharma, DG CPWD. Just to answer, sir, Hitesh, sir, what he was telling, for innovative technologies, recently what CPWD has done, we have come out with another manual, design and build basis, where you freeze the specification and then you do the tender on design and build basis. So they have come out with the detailed user's manual that how to do a tender with design build basis. Design build basis means you just quote the rate per square feet or per dwelling unit. Okay, so just to counter, sir, a schedule of rate, you can go for that approach, and now that is being approved. So, sir, Shailen Sharma, sir, please make your opening remarks. Please welcome him.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody in the hall. It's nice to see young students also joining this session, and it is from them that we have this hope of change in future, adoption of technology, etc. So the topic right now is use of innovative technologies by public and private agencies. As Secretary Sir has already pointed out, there are certain constraints under which public sector organizations like mine, Central Public Works Department, or other similar organizations operate. We have to take care of the financial aspects. It's just not by choice that we can pick and choose anything. And in general, we have to spend the money in such a way that tomorrow it cannot be said that it was wasted in some way, because it is public money. So therefore, we go to a great length in ensuring that any new technology which is proposed is properly tested by independent authorities like IITs, NCCBM, CRRI, or such organizations who certify their veracity. We also encourage the technology providers to get their systems tested. In particular, I would mention about the precast systems which have been adopted, because worldwide studies and also in IITs show that there is some lack of clarity about how the joints behave in seismic conditions in case of precast structures. So while we have openly adopted precast structures all over the country, for zone 4 and 5 we say that the complete model of the proposed system, because it is a system, apart from the beams and columns, the junctions, the slab, there are so many different combinations and permutations which are floating in the market and people are proposing. So they have to be tested. In particular, I am talking about seismic behavior, because in India we have this thing, and you will all be aware with Bhuj earthquake and all. We have few earthquakes, but very strong earthquakes taking place. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, the periodicity is such that after one big earthquake, there are maybe 15, 20, or even more, 40, 50 years pass, and people just forget about what had happened in the last mishap. So we have to be aware of that. We have to take care of that. So we haven't provided that for zone 4 and 5 particularly, such tests should be done. So similar tests have to be done for various technologies before we adopt them. Because as sir mentioned, CPWD is often taken as a base document, CPWD publications, our daily schedule of rates, our analysis of rates. So we have to take care that we allow them after certain checks. Having said so, I would like to mention that very recently we have now introduced, rather made mandatory almost, for all our major tenders to be called in EPC, engineering procurement contracts as they call, mode with technology neutral orientation. Earlier, those of you who are aware with public works would know that when we call the tender, we would decide the technology before we call the tenders, and we prepare the estimate accordingly, and then when the tender is floated in the market, we say it has to be done in such and such way, and we prescribe the drawings, and we may, at times, in fact most of the times, we used to issue the structural drawings also, and the contractor just had to execute the work accordingly. Now we are saying that we provide the overall architectural concept and basic requirements, controls, so that the contractor can utilize all these new and innovative technologies so as to arrive at the most optimum solution within the framework of allowable codes and safety requirements, which of course we prescribe. So this is a recent change in the last few months we have done, and I think as a result this will give a fillip to the adoption of new construction technologies. Apart from because when we talk of new and innovative technologies, most of the time we are talking about civil construction only. We in CPWD have also enlisted about 24 electrical mechanical side technologies, which are equally important. Now today, sustainability and being green construction are as important as making the civil structure itself. So in that part, we have introduced so many new technologies by way of which we can reduce energy consumption, initial as well as in running the systems. There are types of chillers which are, because air conditioning is a huge cost today in maintaining any building, running any building. So there are heat pumps, there are chillers, LED lights, all of you know about. Solar power systems, solar photovoltaic cells, and so many other technologies there which have been listed in our documents. We have put them on our website, also in our publications, so that public can use them in general. So in short, I would like to say that CPWD in its now 168 years of existence has always kept abreast of the latest materials and technologies. If we look at various times, about 100 years ago, we constructed the Rashtrapati Bhavan, North Block and South Block, at which time we adopted the best technology of those times. About 25 years ago, I designed the Parliament Library project right next to the Parliament building, and we used diaphragm walls and soil anchors, rock anchors, and such technology which was the best available at that time. As of now also, now we have taken up the Central Vista project. We are constructing the new Parliament building for our country and so many other buildings. There also we are using latest technology. Just to mention one, those of you who are familiar with Delhi a little bit would know that near the North Block and South Block, there were huge hutments of World War II vintage. They were actually originally constructed when World War II was taking place to house the British officers, army officers, and then later on they have just continued like that for so long. They were utilized by defense personnel and such people. Now, we are constructing these new buildings in Central Vista, which is a very, the most prime location, heart of the city, of the country also you can say, and logistics are an issue. So how to construct there? So for that, the first step was making available the required ground space, for which these hutments had to be removed. So the first requirement was making offices available for these defense personnel who were sitting in those hutments. So we have used this PEB, pre-engineered buildings concept. And even though this COVID wave and everything was going on, within 10 months, we have constructed 2 8-storied buildings, and it was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji last year, and all the defense personnel, about 7,500 if I remember exactly, have shifted to those buildings, and as a result of that, we are able to take those areas up also for development. So just to mention one such building. Then as far as environment friendliness is concerned, we are using green technology. We have recently constructed Atal Akshay Urja Bhavan, which is a 100% net zero building. We are producing through solar photovoltaic cells the entire amount of power which we are consuming in the building. So we are on the job, and I hope with all of you with us, we'll continue to do it in future also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And CPWD is also, all of you must be knowing, is making our parliament. All kinds of technologies are being used there. All kinds of innovative materials are also being used there. So now, I have one announcement to make, the next innovative technology set.
Yeah, I think now this is also working. Mr. Sailesh Sharma, he is really very nicely is brought out is what CPWD is doing. Basically, CPWD is the apex construction agency for our country, and he has rightly mentioned that they have history of 168 years. So this was Lord Dalhousie. During his period, CPWD was formed in India. That was in 1855 or 1856. Today, as he rightly mentioned, that whatever new technology we want to introduce, it requires validation by the independent agencies. Independent agency in the form of either various consortium of IITs or experts in this field. And that work has already started, but yes, it requires a lot of efforts. It's not that overnight things will happen. If you will see, last 8-10 years, lot of efforts have been put in this particular issue by CPWD, and that is congratulations to CPWD. They have forthright, they have come forward for utilization of this innovative technologies. Similar kind of proactive measures are required at state government level also. Thank you.
I just wanted to make one announcement. The next thematic session on innovative technology will take place in plenary hall instead of hall 2. So some of the panelists, I see Oja Saab sitting here, that will not take place here. The session, which is to start at 4 o'clock, will now be held in plenary hall, the bigger hall. Okay. So now I invite Professor Bihar Prasad to make his remarks.
Good afternoon. I just want to make a couple of comments on this particular aspect of bringing innovations into industry, and then how public-private participation is possible. So one of the most important thing is the attitude of people who are leading. Just give an example. Normally people tend to be very risk averse. So you don't want to take a risk, so you would like to follow whatever standard things that are there, you would like to do that one there. All you have to do is just make a commitment. That is, for this building or for this particular thing, I will introduce one innovation. It need not have to be complete things, one innovation. I'll just give an example. So when we are trying out GFRG technology, gypsum-based technologies for housing, we are given an opportunity to do it in the IIT one demo building, which we finished in 28 days, and then reasonably very good finish and other things there. But there is a colleague of mine who has taken over as IIT Tirupati director. He decided, yeah, you have done that one. I would like to have 5 hostels and do it very fast. And I don't want any disturbance to the students who are already there. And it was implemented within the duration that is done, which is promised. It was done. It was done by CPWD engineers who were supervising, and it was done by an ordinary contractor who is not well versed, so he is not willing to take the risk, so we had to give a support. And we worked with the factory people. We'll pay directly, you don't worry about the things there. So once we make a commitment like that, it is possible. So what I am requesting for those people who are in this audience, okay, first you make a commitment to yourself, saying that when we would like to bring in at least one innovation, things that innovation could be in policy, innovation could be in finance models, innovation could be in contracting, innovations could be in materials that you are introducing, innovations could be in functionality that you are going to have. I'll give another example. L&T was given a job to construct so many 60 towers or 70 towers. No one told them to finish it in 96 days. They made a commitment. Can we try? Because they have enough work is given. The scale of the work is sufficient to take that reasonable risk. Okay? So that is something that I wanted to insist. If you make that commitment, it becomes much, much more easier. When it comes to innovations, we looked at the people whom we are working with the things there. Let's say the type of people who will support those things. For example, venture capitalists. For them, the lower hanging fruits are anything connected with IT. Okay, it is very easy because they can quickly bring it to the market and they can get the returns out of that particular thing. But when it comes to the civil engineering or housing type of things, there are some things that are related to safety. The safety things are not easy. You have to follow the process, you have to establish the things there, and you have to bring confidence in everyone associated. It's a long process. Yeah, you have to take PACs. Commitment from BMTPC, and afterwards you have to have a demo building to build the confidence, and afterwards you have to bring them standards, rates, schedule of rates, all other things there, and then you can potentially think of scaling up. Okay, so you have to follow that process, but that requires some patience and more importantly leadership. Okay, so for example, in IIT Madras, we wanted to have a hostel to house around 2,000 people. So, and that is required almost immediately. So, let's say next academic year. So, really the construction time, we have to crash it to 6 months. Okay. So, now we are forming what are the technologies that are available, where I'll bring in all the smart things that are possible and work with in such a way that I have to do a public tendering. So, I have to do it in such a way that I attract the right people to do the work that I want, where I'm not taking any risk, because for me, for us an institution, it is decided the day in which our students are going to join. I have to keep the things ready. So the students also made requests. Yeah, we want a lot of smartness to be built in. Yeah, you are having 5G test bed, so we want all the things that are there. So the innovations that we are trying to look at is in terms of environment, the cleanliness, water, wastewater, water utilization, energy utilization, and good. Supposing if you are using precast, concrete things are there, 5G signals, will it reach? Will they go through that things there? So all these things we have to check. And then the other things that they say is, yeah, we want to maintain. Can you remove that room material as a prefabricated things there? Can remove and reuse. Someone else will come and then use that things there. So we are looking at all these things. Okay, that requires commitment, individual commitment or institutional commitment. That is all required, and that is the seed to which all other things will follow up later. So that's what I would request all of you to make a commitment to yourself to bring in innovations. So you weigh in carefully, and then you do the things there. I'll mention other things when we are discussing the other things. I'll just stop at this point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Ajay Chaurasia from CBRI to make his comments.
Good afternoon, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and my budding engineers. So, when whatever the agenda which has been coined by Dr. Agrawal, so I will move around my discussions on those aspects. When you were talking about the technologies, so 6 technologies, among which 3S system, that is precast technology, is one of them, which has been very implemented in Chennai Lighthouse project. So I have certain takeaways from that. I recall the days when Dr. Agrawal insisted me to conduct the full-scale test on the confined 3S building technologies in 2010, when there was a lot of questions on prefabricated buildings constructions in India, particularly from seismic considerations. We conducted the full-scale test from safety considerations, and it has proved very good. And based on that, CPWD adopted this, and we have implemented at few locations. But now today, after that, again we had discussions with the then Secretary MAUA, Dr. Durga Shankar Mishra, and a lot of turmoil has came up based on functionality aspects. That was somewhere in 2018. Again, we have conducted a test on all kinds of functionality aspects, acoustic, thermal, water tightness, and so on. And now, today I am delighted to take a feedback from Principal Secretary Saab that whatever the buildings which has been constructed in Chennai LHP, that they are performing exceptionally good. That is basically a certification from the user agencies for whatever the contribution has been made from technological interventions. So thank you, sir, for complimenting, and credit goes to MAUA, BMTPC and all the stakeholders. Now second, at the same time, now we should look forward for the emerging technologies. Fine. What are the impediments into it? So I would like to focus on health, environment and safety aspects. Now there is a dire need, and we should think of introduction of construction automation in our systems, particularly by developing some kind of wearings to the human beings, which will basically integrate our artificial intelligence, virtual reality and human psychology. So that will basically bring on the understanding of all this data and give signals to the control stations whenever the worker is not fit for doing its job. At that time, that person will be stopped to working in that environment. So that will basically bring down the accidents which are happening on day and night in our different sites. So that's how we can bring in the productivity in our construction system. At the same time, again, I will take an opportunity that what work we are doing at CBRI, that is on PPVC as well as 3D concrete printing. So therein, we are trying to build up on sustainability aspects, that is replacement or minimizing the use of cement and replacing the use of cement by means of agro-industrial waste. So 40% replacement already we have achieved. So that is again good news when we are thinking in terms of a carbon footprint point of view. Last but not the least, as I mentioned that we have conducted full-scale tests on 3S systems. Similar tests need to be done on other systems, and we are on the job. At CBRI, I welcome you all that we have developed a construction technology demonstration park wherein all kinds of technologies which has been approved by BMTPC and MAUA have been demonstrated, and they are being monitored for not only from safety point of view but from functionality point of view also, and they are giving very exceptionally good results. Whatever the impediments we are facing, we are trying to address them and give a good benchmarking so that whenever it is demonstrated or implemented that in reality, the user will be happy to note it. So with this, I'm again thanking Dr. Agrawal and all of you for your kind attention. Thank you.
May I now invite Amit?
Ajay Chaurasia, he mentioned about lighthouse project of Chennai. Actually, this lighthouse project of Chennai, it is a real, if you will say that, how central government agencies and state government agency, if both the agencies, if they will work in tandem, you can show really excellent result. Here we completed this project within 15 months, and out of this 15 months, 3 months were COVID lockdown period. So, Miss April 2021 to almost June 21, these 3 months, almost no labor was available, no material was available, and even after that we completed this project in 15 months. And as he has mentioned, beneficiary stamping is the most important criteria. Whatever we will do, unless and until people who are living there, if they are not satisfied, whatever we talk about these innovative technologies and all these things is of no use. This is the first project I can say that in which within span of around 3 to 4 months, all the houses have been allotted to the beneficiaries. Because after seeing those houses, the quality of houses, after they all visited the places and then they came forward, yes, we want to live in these houses. And today, I have been informed by my managing director that all 1,128 houses allotment has been issued, and more than 500 people they have started living. So, point is that this is the test. All we can do specifications, we can bring all the schedule of rate, tender documents, everything we will do. But if ultimately the end user, if he is not satisfied, no technology will be of any use. Now I will just give you the example of various, if you go to market, what are the best fittings? People, they will tell the Jaguar or Kohler or Grow Hai or those kind of fittings are the best fittings, though we know that it's quite expensive. But even after that, many people, they go ahead with that kind of thing. Because those lot of innovations are there, lot of benefits are there. Here in this houses also, there is a Jaguar fittings are there, and even after that, beneficiary has to pay only 1,80,000 rupees of contribution. While all other places we have to, my beneficiary has to pay higher contribution. So there is one myth that innovative technology are quite expensive. At least for this precast construction technology, it is not true. It is by and large, what in your conventional practices, what is that same kind of expenditure in this also. So, thank you very much, Professor Ajay Chaurasia. And now I will invite Mr. He is from private sector, so we will hear what is the perspective of private sector about this innovative technology. It should not feel that private sector has to look at government, public agencies also. Our point is that they can also do same thing for the other private people. So we want to just listen from you.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. First of all, thank you for the invitation. I come from the private sector, but last I think about 15-20 years we have been working a lot more in the government side for the social housing. I actually worked in the US for about 10 years and joined L&T in 2012 when this whole social housing demand started increasing, and I joined thinking I'm going to bring the outside technology, I am going to change the way India builds the houses, and all that josh and fervor was there. And first 6 months we quickly figured out that the copy paste is not going to work at all, right? So that's one of the first things I would probably put in front whenever you are looking at innovative technologies, may it be private or maybe a structural design engineer perspective. Make sure, like Principal Secretary ji also said now, your end user has to be comfortable with that technology. Because you are building faster, because you want to finish something quicker, they are not going to get adopted easily, right? They have to be comfortable with it. And the comfort can be just using, in general, look, touch and feel. That's how your end user is. He is not going to see what MPA concrete you have put it. He is not going to, or she is not going to look at what detail you have used it. She is not going to look at the certificate of durability. They want to feel comfortable seeing what has been done. You can build faster, you can build quality, whatever, but make sure you connect with your end user. That pulse is important. And that's where I think our private sector efforts come into. I think L&T has been blessed with senior leadership who knows the pulse of that market, right? What your end user wants. We are not in precast technology business. We are not in 3D printing business. We are not in hybrid steel construction business. We are in building buildings business. And that's what we have been doing, pushing, right? This, now Dr. Agarwal ji mentioned we built one building in 36 days using precast technology. That is in 2022. But the first precast building we built in 2012. That's where the senior management anticipated that we are going to need this speed, right? We were doing aluminum formwork since 2002. 95% of our residential construction was being done using aluminum formwork, using the PMAY-Urban system, what you see. And in 2010, they felt that this is not going to be enough. India needs higher, and they started with precast. We are talking about 3D printing now. But 2015, I went to China along with 3 or the other 4 guys. We spent 1 month there. We looked at that 3D printing first and what they are doing, how they are doing. And we felt that this is going to be workable in India. We need that, and that effort started. So that's something you keep in mind. Now the challenges, right? We have been, actually I've been one of the fortunate ones where I've seen that India changing from the government side, right? When we came 2012, there were no codes, but BIS has stepped up now. We are building precast technology specific codes. We are building 3D technology specific codes. They have roped in industry participation saying, if this is what you want, you tell us, you take it, you drive it. What more support the industrial or engineering industry would want? BMTPC has been there. We had that PAC certification in 2004, right? That is, if the code is not there, they are giving that support framework. Today, when I am involved in 3D printing code, that BMTPC PAC certification has become the basis of framework, saying if as long as these things are checked, more or less you just have to do the minor editing and put it as a first version of the code. So all that government support, central support has been existing, which probably was not that efficient or that apparent before. Entire that framework is there. We have to really hand over to the central government or government efforts. Where we have to probably take it up now is, I still feel the time to convert that new technology into a mainstream technology is still huge, right? When I said 2010, I did precast buildings, and still 2022, precast construction is being treated as a modern technology or a new technology. That time has to be reduced significantly. And how that will be reduced is not by evaluating the technology, not by reducing the cost. All those are given. But what we feel is the trust between the private and government. That trust is the key, right? When I am saying, standing on a platform, saying precast technology works, we have evaluated, means we put our word behind it, right? The projects that we are building in Mumbai, almost 20,000 houses, there is a 10-year defect liability period. Just like that, we are not going to say, I'll take the tender and build it. So that trust, that brand, and I'm not just saying just L&T, but there are other players that somewhere that government and private trust has to be established. The other things will follow. So with that, I would conclude saying we have actually probably many new things upcoming. We just have to support this, and India can have that dream future. Thank you.
Professor Brajesh.
Thank you. 1 minute. Let me give some comments. See, these are important topics. If he is telling something, you have to respond to them. ना? ऐसा थोड़ा होता है. No, what he is telling, that there is a trust between government and private agency. Yes, this is a very important thing, and we have to miss at government level also. We have to do something about it. But yes, because government is why means government has to be little bit more cautious about all new things. If anything will go wrong, it comes on the credibility of the government whole system. And if private person, if himself will do, and if something will go wrong, it is not it is also a big problem. But when government endorses something, then means it is a very big challenge for the government. Even small things also, it goes means out of our hand. So that is why government is insisting that means various certification and various authority has to clear it. So this is what, and apart from that, see, whenever we come with new things, it requires lot of communication with the public. Unless and until we will do communication with the public, it is very difficult for the public to accept those things. How private agencies, they are coming up and making lot of advertisement whenever they are coming with the new things. Similar kind of things can also be thought about. With this, I think, Miss, I have been asked by moderator that we have to close this session very quickly. So he can Miss, take necessary action to close it. Yeah. Please.
Professor Rajesh.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm an architect, urban designer, and I teach urban design at CEPT University. So what I wanted to share is there is a lot of discussion and an interest, I would say, regarding affordable rental housing complexes. So the government is really considering the policy of how to think about rental situations for affordable housing. Now in that, I believe there is also an acknowledgement by now that there is a possibility of, or there is a need for housing people where they work or close to where they work. I mean, that is a corollary that has also been accepted and understood, and I've heard a lot of interesting ideas being shared about it today. The idea of technology that I want to share today is somewhat in the light of what Professor Prasad shared, that it's not about construction, it's beyond that, it's a lot of other ideas, and in that light, I think there is a possible connect between how we can kind of connect these two. For example, there are many challenges that the local governments are going to face when they think about planning these rental housings, how to allocate, how to ensure that they are located near their work. When they change their workplaces, how can they change that? Now these are possible problems or considerations that people have to make. In that sense, there is, imagine a rent aggregator, for example, Airbnb. You know, they have made life easy for everyone to rent a place across the globe right now. So I think government and along with public participation in that, it's going to be possible to think of a similar model where you are able to have, and everyone has mobile phones these days, even people working in any kind of labor situations do own a mobile phone. We can easily imagine that they will all be connected and they'll be able to share their workplaces on that, and they can be allocated housing, rental housing, based on these kind of locational changes that they have in their lives. I think this can be an innovation in itself, technology driven. The technology is already present. It's kind of happening in different places right now. So I just thought that there is a lot of work that is being done in the technology innovations in terms of construction. I wanted to highlight the fact that there will be a lot of technological innovations that we will have to imagine making sense of the whole paradigm of rental housing in the future. That's it. Thank you so much for listening.
Now I invite to come.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. I am Hitesh. I come from a startup based out of IIT Madras. I would like to share my experience being an entrepreneur, how challenging it is to grow in construction industry. And we are working on concrete 3D printing, and the idea of this technology is to automate the construction. As India being a developing country, later on we will face problem of labors, and construction itself, it's an industry which has not been revolutionized from a very long time. As you can see, now you have an option for 10 lakh rupees, what type of car that you want to buy, you have an option. But when it comes to the houses, it's been done in a similar manner. That's why we thought there's a requirement of an automation and transparency, where client will know how the house is being constructed, the quality of construction being improvised, how we can improvise it. That's where we thought this is our vision, and to achieve this vision, we are taking the concrete 3D printing as a tool and trying to innovate in the construction industry. So concrete 3D printing technology actually opens up options to explore with a lot of types of material, machine, and you can actually tap into sustainable market, etc. But being a small start, like as a growing startup in construction industry where the startups are not very normal, it's very challenging. You have to first take care of the money, and because you have to run a business, then you have to take care of the government compliances, which our Indian government has taken a very innovative steps. They have started few incubation cells. As a part of ASHA GSTC, we have incubated and we have reached this stage. Thank you for that. And to take from a lab to a model level to a commercialization, Indian government is actually helping a lot. They have formed committees to standardize the technology, and I hope Indian government will keep supporting us, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Jignasu, you want to say something? You are one of the panelists and you are sitting in the audience. So Jignasu, they are also, he is the CEO of one company called Out and Out. So, he was also not communicated properly about the timing, so that's why he was sitting there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jignasu Mehta. I am heading company called Outinod Foamworks Private Limited, which is a French multinational. This technology, what you see in Rajkot for the lighthouse project, is awarded to this technology called monolithic concrete construction tunnel formwork. So this company, Outinod Foamworks, I would like to talk about something about the Outinod Foamworks. Outi is a tool and Nord is from north. So we are from the north part of France. In 90s, somewhere in 90s, Mr. B.G. Shirke went to France to check this technology and brought this technology in India. But then the French were not very keen to develop this market, so they left the market. And after 2013, we again thought of coming back to India. When we came back to India, it was really difficult because, first of all, in India, we don't need a speed, and our USP is a speed. Like you know, we cast 1 floor per day, we can cast, and we can cast. In Rajkot, we have done, in 2 days, we casted 1 floor. So first of all, nobody believed us. Thanks to BMTPC, because we got the certification, we could prove that this is possible. With due respect to all the structural designers, but most of the people are following IS code saying that 11.3 and they follow the table. Nobody reads the para before 11.3 table, which says that you can check the cube strength and you can remove the shuttering in 12 hours or when you reach the certain strength. And it was really difficult time for us to reach this point, but thanks to Government of India who started with this Global Housing Technology Challenge, thanks to BMCPC who supported us, and thanks to all the agency who helped us to reach this point where we are really happy to showcase in 15 months with including the COVID issues, we were able to finish 1144 houses, and you all have seen on the YouTube and website that what kind of houses are there. I will request each one of you to visit the site and see how fast we can build. In my life, I have one saying, and I say that in India, we never understand the time is money because it's saying it is in English. But now we all understand English, and now we know that time is money and we need to save the money. Because of this platform, today we have so many inquiries, we have so many projects, and we are able to export from India because we have started with the Make in India initiative. We have a factory in India, and now we are exporting to 11 countries from India. Thanks to Government of India, Honorable Prime Minister, and really big round of applause for all the government agencies. Thank you so much.
I think this is a very good session in which we have listened perspective of government departments. We have also listened the perspective of academic institutions as well as the private agency. If all will work together, and if BMPTC and they will come up with various methods to communicate with people, definitely there is a good big opportunities in innovative technologies for the construction work. Thank you. I think with this, we will close this session. Thank you very much.
On behalf of everyone, I must thank the chair. Sir, very animated, very nice session, and your inputs were too good. We'll just have a photograph and then we'll listen. And my sincere apologies, sir, because you know.